Good morning, folks. Thanks so much for grabbing some extra details about the forecast. I am meteorologist Nick Lilia here, taking a look, pinpoint 3D time radar, brought to you by Kelly Roofing, looking at the big picture. And for today, we calm things down here across the high plains. In fact, all the severe weather, all the rough stuff. In fact, that same frontal boundary that brought us a lot of wind and a lot of dust yesterday continues to march on off to the east and fire up severe weather from places like about Cleveland, Ohio or so, all the way back down to just about New Orleans, Louisiana. But for us, again, calming things down into the afternoon. We'll go ahead and take that. But what we're paying attention to is this little swirl in the clouds back here as it rides its way our direction. That's going to fire up the opportunity for some showers, maybe even a thunderstorm. But the best news is, how about this? No elevated threat for any severe weather. How often in April can you talk about rain here on the high plains and say, well, no real elevated threat for any severe weather? Okay, this is true, but there should be a little asterisk right there. I'll get to that here in a couple of seconds. But first things first, what are we looking at as far as rain's concerned? Well, for today, again, nice and sunny here across the high plains as high pressure builds in. It's tomorrow morning that we start to build in the clouds and maybe some patchy drizzle here and there. Chances are you're going to wake up with a couple of raindrops here and there. Maybe not full-blown drizzle or a light rain shower, but, if you walk out to the car tomorrow morning, you got to run some errands, you might catch a couple of drops. You might have to use the windshield wipers. That's really about it. It's into the afternoon that we build in better rain chances, but for the most part, for us here in town, I think we're going to stay mainly dry. 1/10 of an inch, maybe 2/10 if we're real lucky. But most of the rain off to the east, and as it looks right now, most of the models want to paint it in down off to the south and east. So you folks in Wellington down toward Childress, and as you make your way back toward Claude, kind of in that area, best chances for rain. And what ends up happening is we've been watching these models all morning long as they've taken that splotch of heavier rain and moved it from the void between about Pampa and Perryton and kind of shifted it down off to the south and the south and the south and the south and the south. And right now it's sitting, well, down around Clarendon or so. So as we watch this continue to evolve over the next couple of days, hopefully we can maybe push it back off to the north and maybe spread it out a little bit further. But as it looks right now here in town, I think we'll end up with about 1/10 or so. Notice that we're clearing things out in some of our western counties. That will help us here in a couple of seconds. Now, as we head into the overnight hours, a couple of showers and storms will fire on the lee side of the Rockies. That's where that sun helps out because it'll help fire off these storms. But notice that they do kind of fall apart as they move in and across the Texas Panhandle. I'm thinking that if we do get a couple of these to fire, they'll make it a little further off to the west. You folks in Dalhart and Dumas, heads up late Saturday night and into Sunday. You might catch a couple rumbles of thunder. Here we go into the morning. The clouds are back. Maybe some more patchy areas of drizzle in some of our eastern counties. But really, that's about it. It's into the afternoon we go that our Future Sky forecast, I think, is having a tough go of it, trying to figure out where to paint in the best rain chances. But I think it does pretty good, not necessarily into the afternoon because we'll have daytime heating and available moisture. I think we pop up a couple of showers, maybe even a thunderstorm as well. It's as this next cold front starts to barrel through, and you can see where it lines up right there, that we see a couple of maybe stronger thunderstorms in there. And as it looks right now, it wants to push it through town about 10 o'clock at night on Sunday as you're headed to bed for work on Monday morning. But notice how fast these just kind of fall apart and just drift on off to the south. Bears watching these two guys, that's the asterisks. These two guys that fire up and drag on off to the south might have the possibility of being stronger thunderstorms, but I still don't think we have to worry about any quote-unquote severe weather this weekend. In fact, for a while, we don't have to worry about it. If we take a look at high temperatures for today, with no chance for rain, by the way, nice and sunny, light winds, 63 degrees here in town. Same goes in Hereford, 60 in Clovis, 64 for you folks in Beaver. And again, winds out of the south and southeast by later this afternoon. Taking a look at the week ahead, the 50s for this weekend. 30% chance for rain Saturday and into Sunday. Another 10% go of it on Monday. And then temperatures rebound quite nicely with winds back out of the southwest Wednesday into Thursday. I said we don't have to worry about severe weather for a while. And really, truly, we don't. I mean, for the next about 5 to 7 days or so, it's perhaps Thursday and into Friday and Saturday of next week that we might have concerns for severe weather. We'll keep an eye on it, and you can too. Thanks for grabbing some extra details about today's forecast.